KSI versus Amir Khan. It hasn't been named official just yet, but this has been the talk of the town. This is the next fight for KSI, and I'm a little bit disappointed in the matchup, and not in the way that you think initially, but I'll get into that a little bit later. So Amir Khan, of course, coming into this fight with the experience, holding a record of 34 wins, 21 of those coming by way of knockout, and 6 defeats. 5 of those defeats being also by knockout. But the inexperienced but much larger KSI is coming in with a record of 5-1-1. 4 of those wins come by way of knockout. So in my opinion, the story behind how this fight got made is I think KSI is banking on knocking Amir Khan out, because Amir Khan is known to be a little bit chinny. His chin is a little bit suspect. He does very often get hurt, wobbled, dropped, and even knocked out cold. So I'm thinking KSI, knowing that he's the much larger guy, and KSI does carry a lot of power in those hands naturally, even though he does have a really awkward style, really weird style. I'm not sure if he's going to go to that little bouncy karate shit for this matchup. Regardless whether he does or doesn't, he definitely is going to have the power advantage, and that's what I think made him want to do this fight, because Amir Khan is chinny. Like I said, of those 6 losses, 5 of them were by knockout. His last fight against Kell Brook, he did also get knocked out in the 6th round. Whereas Amir Khan, it seems as though he's going to want to take KSI to school. He has gone out and even said that, these YouTube boxers don't have a clue of what they're getting into. So in my opinion, I think Amir Khan's looking at this like either he might outbox KSI and get a knockout, or just completely take him to school, outbox him, and win via decision. But what's disappointing about this type of matchup is the fact that KSI is choosing to fight a pretty damn dangerous fight against Amir Khan rather than fighting Jake Paul. And in some ways it's KSI's fault, but in other ways it's also Jake Paul's fault. I would put them both at fault for not making this fight. It's just disappointing that this is what it's come to, whereas like they try to fight opponents and try to one-up each other instead of actually getting in the squared circle and squaring off and fighting each other. They just want to look back and fight the better opponents. The way I see it is they both fought Tommy Fury. KSI's fight against Tommy Fury was supposed to be his last one should he come out with a victory, because then that's that moral victory that he has over Jake Paul, saying, I'm better, I beat Tommy Fury, I did what you couldn't do. And even though the fans think that he won, it still is a loss on his record, so it's just not good enough for KSI. He's gotta one-up Jake. So that's why I think he's going with the Amir Khan fight, which, hey, in my opinion, I think it serves him well, because Amir Khan is definitely way better and way more impressive of a matchup than anyone Jake Paul has faced thus far. And that includes the Mike Tyson fight. But it's really just disappointing that these guys just don't get in the ring and fight each other to see who is better, and then KSI can run off into the sunset, call it quits. Jake Paul can continue to do whatever the hell he's doing with the saying he wants to be a world champion, but going a complete different direction with his boxing matches. I just don't like how it's come to this, and in my opinion, I think if KSI knocks out Amir Khan or somehow wins this fight, he's going to be done with the YouTube boxing thing as a whole. He's going to be done boxing, he's going to retire, and he's just going to say, look, I fought the way better opponent than anyone Jake has ever fought, which is honestly going to put Jake in the hot seat and force him to up his level of competition, because it hasn't been good. His last 2 fights, they've been very terrible matchups, highly in favor of Jake Paul. So that is going to put some pressure on him to boost it up a little bit, and not the Mike Tyson fight. That definitely isn't going to help. So I guess it'll be interesting to see how this matchup really goes down and how Jake Paul reacts to it. But I don't know. I'm sticking to my guns. I still don't think we're going to get the KSI and Jake fight. I think they've gone a little bit too professional with it. They're too far away in weight classes at this point. The negotiations aren't going to go right. Jake Paul isn't going to want to fight on misfits. They're going to have issue with what weight they should fight at, who's the A side. There's a bunch of stuff that is going to cause issues when it comes to contract negotiations, which is why I just don't really see the fight happening. But KSI and Amir Khan seems like what's next. Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, I thank you all so much for the support, and I'll catch you in the next video.